You're watching America's Forbidden History, where we uncover the stories, the secrets, and the forgotten moments that shaped a nation.
For 80 long years, a locked steel cabinet sat untouched inside a forgotten government facility. No labels, no markings, no indication of what was stored inside. Just a series of reinforced drawers sealed with a rusting padlock that no one seemed authorized to open. But when the archives were finally re-evaluated, a historian noticed the cabinet wasn't listed in any inventory. It wasn't supposed to exist at all. When the lock was cut and the drawers pulled open, what they found stunned everyone in the room. Hundreds of old photographs, all stamped with a single word: restricted. No explanations. No dates. Just images that should have been part of the public record decades ago, but were instead buried by someone who didn't want them seen. The first photograph showed a cluster of wooden buildings standing in the middle of an empty plain. But the structures didn't match any known military post, settlement, or farm. There were no roads, no signs of habitation, nothing that suggested people ever lived there. Just buildings standing alone, arranged in an odd geometric pattern that no historian recognized. Even stranger, the photo had no location written on the back. The second image was even more unsettling. It captured a group of men standing beside a massive trench carved into the earth. Their faces were blurred, not because the camera failed, but because someone had deliberately scratched them out. And in the corner of the image, faint but readable, were the words, "Do not release." As historians sifted through the photographs, the real horror began to take shape. These weren't random images. They were connected. Every photograph depicted a place, a person, or an event that had been erased from public memory. Entire communities that appeared in early census records suddenly vanished. Large structures that had no mention in newspapers. Operations that didn't appear in the military's official timelines. One photo showed a massive concrete slab deep in a forest, but the trees around it were charred, scorched, as if an enormous heat source had erupted nearby. Another image revealed a circular excavation site, perfectly symmetrical, with a crew of workers standing around something covered by a tarp. The tarp had dark stains along its edges. The deeper the historians went, the more disturbing the collection became. Because these photographs suggested something impossible, that entire segments of early 20th century, American history had been cut out, removed, and sealed away. One historian pointed out a photograph of a town that shouldn't exist. The architecture was too modern for the date penciled on the edge of the photo. Electrical lines ran in patterns not used until decades later. And the clothing worn by the people in the street looked modern. Far too modern for a picture supposedly taken in the 1920s. But the most chilling photograph was found in the final drawer. It depicted a massive underground chamber, a place none of the historians recognized. The ceiling arched high above, lined with metal ribs like the inside of a giant hull. Large crates sat in rows, each marked with a symbol no one had ever seen in any US records. Some crates were open, revealing strange cylindrical objects inside. When the image was enhanced, a detail in the bottom right corner became visible, the shadow of a person holding the camera, but the silhouette looked wrong. Too tall, too narrow, too distorted to be human. After reviewing the entire collection, the historians came to one disturbing realization. These photographs weren't hidden because they were unimportant. They were hidden because they showed a version of American history that officials did not want the world to know. The final question remains, why were these photographs buried for 80 years? Was it to hide an operation? A discovery? A mistake? Or something much older, something that predates the records we rely on to understand the past? Whatever the truth is, the release of these images has rattled historians across the country. Because if one forgotten cabinet can hold evidence of an erased chapter of American history, how many more hidden drawers, sealed boxes, and locked rooms are still out there, waiting to be opened? If you want more Forbidden's archives, suppressed discoveries, and erased truths buried in America's past, make sure you subscribe to @America's Forbidden's History, because the secrets they tried to hide are only just beginning to surface.